starting with the G1, and that is just a cell right here. It just keeps functioning normally. It creates all its organelles, and it keeps expanding too. The cytoplasm starts expanding, and that goes into the S phase, or for people who watch Parks and Recreation, the Swanson phase. Nobody knows it. Okay, so anyways, the Swanson phase. And in this phase, something really big happens. The DNA, right, is duplicated. I mean, like it's duplicated. That's what. And then in the G2, the cell keeps on normally functioning.
So during prophase, the centromere, which are all these little DNA strands that come from the nucleus, and then there's also chromosomes then split. So each one is called an aster. And so what happens is the chromatin fibers become more tightly packed, which condenses into chromosomes. And so after the chromosomes, the nuclei disappear. And so what happens in prophase is now the spindle fibers form, and the nuclear envelope begins to fragment. Which leads us into prometaphase, when the nuclear envelope keeps on fragmenting, the centromeres begin making their way out of the nucleus, which is contained in. And what happens is chromosomes have now become even more condensed, and two chromosins of the chromosomes contain special protein called the centromere. So now basically they're being trapped.
Like to the lunch area.
So now once these leave, they get trapped into the spindle fibers. And so from there leads us to metaphase. The centrosomes are now on opposite poles of the cell. So now all the organelles are being pushed back, and these are on opposite polar sides of the cell. The spindle fibers, and now the nucleus, the nuclear envelope is now completely fragmented. And so now spindle fibers in the cell, and everything else, the sister chromatids, called the chromosomes, are now trapped into the spindle fibers. And for each chromosome, the kinetochores of the sister chromatids, right here, also come to opposite poles.
And our IV command term is to outline. So when you're outlining, you're trying not to give too much information. So you can basically just say what happens. Be sure to use words like chromosomes and centrals, or any important words that you know are going to be used. Just use them. You don't have to go all the way into detail. So for anaphase, remember the sister chromatids that Banu was showing? They split. So it's kind of like this.
Every cell goes through it, the cell cycle. Growing phase, synthesis, and then more growing. In mitosis we divide through cleavage. And we know that with this song we can teach it. The cell cycle, the cellular cycle.
Another easy way that you can know about the cell cycle is
with the phrase, I got some good pie, Maggie ate the crust. So it's I for interphase, got some good, that's G1, S, G2, pie, which is prophase, then Maggie ate the crust, that's metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis. So, a good way that you can remember everything. We're going to move into our second objective, 2.5.2, which is state that tumors, cancers, are the result of uncontrolled cell division and that these can occur in any organ or tissue. So we have a interactive game, an extended game of rock, paper, scissors, I guess. So we have these cards which are cancer factors. They're different things that may contribute to cancer. And we're going to start with one cancer cell. Will play rock, paper, scissors with someone, and that cell would then get cancer, and it would continue dividing until eventually everyone who are different cells would have cancer.
This will incorporate everyone to play in the game, and it will also read what happens on there, so it will teach you about cancer and how it's caused.
I lost. Oh, okay.
You got cancer.
Didn't wear any.
Get away from us, Charles.
Currently, cancer is spreading through the class here.
Cancer is the cancer cells. Once it passes through the G1, S, and G2 phase successfully without being checked, cancer is able to go into metaphase, and the cancer cells is able to replicate at an astronomical rate.
Not eating fruits and vegetables, and it says that fruits and vegetables carry antioxidants that prevent cancer.
Mine's talking about family history, and it says that cancer can be passed down.
Mine is hepatitis, found in whole milk.
Like Mr. Jones said, interphase is a very important part of the cell's life. It occurs before mitosis occurs, and it has 3 phases, which is G1, S, and G2. And so the first stage is, or mitosis is prophase.
Alright, so prophase. So in prophase, the chromatins begin to condense into chromosomes after the nuclear envelope starts to disappear. And in addition to that, centrals start to form, and spindle fibers are connected, and centromeres begin to move to the opposite sides.
Okay, so prometaphase is the phase between metaphase and prophase, and what happens is pretty much the nuclear envelope starts to form. So the light purple, they just start to form in little surface area. That's like a little skin growing. And so after, then the microtubules attach to the kinetochores, which are also it's like the protein that's at the centromere. And then metaphase occurs, where the chromosomes line up in a straight line, and they get ready to be separated. And yeah.
Okay. So in anaphase, this is when the sister chromatids separate, and then they form daughter chromosomes, and they're pulled to the opposite sides of the cell, and there are equal amounts of chromosomes on each side because they just split in half.
So the next phase is telophase, and in this, there begins a furrow or a cleavage, and the nuclear membrane reforms so that 2 daughter nuclei exist, and the nucleoli reappears, and then the chromosomes start to decondense.
Yeah, you guys familiar with the command terms we're going to be using? So right here we have a map of the Chinese general area. So the first one I'm going to go over is label, and that's basically you're given a diagram and you need to make annotations of it. So and then you proceed to do that for a bunch of different countries. But then for some countries, for example, take Japan, you're not going to be able to write it in that small fin area, at least not like this. So what you need to do is write it at least somewhat legibly, hopefully, when you're actually doing this with the IB nearby, and then draw a straight line from a straight line from the name to the actual country, and so you describe it. Describes basically you have to give a full detailed account of what you see, or of a certain given scenario. So what you do here is probably describe the fact that it's singled out. It and a few countries in the same region are singled out among the others. That it's bigger than the rest. You can see two rivers going through it, and pretty much for this picture that'd be the majority of the detail.
Nuclear membranes intact as it starts. The cells growing, cytoplasm flowing, chromosomes get duplicated, DNA gets replicated.